Hello friends, welcome all of you. I think before lockdown we had completed our syllabus till representation of variable length record as we can see on the screen. We have some remaining points in syllabus. Regularly I will prepare some videos and will try to complete the rest of syllabus. So when we had discussed this point, representation of variable length record, we had seen that variable length record are stored in this manner. So this is the format which is used to store variable length record. Here we can see that this is the 21. This is the address from where variable length record is being stored. So this is the 21st byte. So if you see the 21st byte, instructor number is given. So instructor number may be data type having varchar. So that's why it is a variable length data. So 21 is the beginning address and how much bytes it take? 5 bytes. So if you see here 21 to 26, it is taking 5 bytes of memory. Next variable length record is beginning at 26th byte. So it is 26th byte here, it is beginning, and how many bytes it is taking? 10 bytes. So if you can count this 10 bytes, you will go to 36th address. So next record is beginning at 36. It is also taking 10 bytes. So 36 to 45. So here we have one more record, that is fixed length record. Okay, so fixed length records are the records for which we use data types like numeric data types are fixed length records, and the attributes for which we use varchar type of data type, those attributes we refer as a variable length record. So here is the technique that is used to store variable length record, and I think we had done discussion on this in last lecture. I'm continuing next part through these videos. So let's begin this discussion with organizing of records in a file. So in this point we'll see that how records can be organized in file in a several ways. So in that, the first way is heap file organization. Any record can be placed anywhere in the file where there is space for the record. There is no ordering of records. Typically there is a single file for each relation. So that means whenever you want to store some unordered data in a file, you can use heap file organization. Exactly opposite of this, sequential file organization. Sequential file organization is used to store data in a sequential order. That means you have one search key from the database, for example roll number, and you want to store your entire database in a sequence of roll number, for example roll number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and so on. Or else if you want to store database, or you want to arrange your records in the database in ascending order of student name, for example the names of students which are beginning with letter A should be there in the table at the top, and then B, C, D, like this. So whenever you are dealing with sequential ordered manner data, you have to use sequential file organization. And last one is hashing file organization. So when to use this hashing file organization? Whenever you have to calculate some hash function depending upon the attributes from the database. For example, now consider that we have 5 disks. I can use first disk to store data of open category students. Second disk I can use to store data of SC category students data. Third disk I will use for storing data of ST category students. Fourth disk I will use to store data of OBC category students likewise. So here you can see that I am using memory depending upon the attributes. Even if suppose that you have chosen attribute like course, I can use first disk to store CSE students data, I can use second disk to store mechanical students data and so on. So here you can see that I am choosing attribute for calculating a hash function. So depending upon hash function we will decide where to store the data. So that is hashing file organization. So these are the 3 techniques which are used to organize records in a file. So let's see how sequential file organization is used and what are the different benefits that we can get using sequential file organization. So here we can see that a sequential file is designed for efficient processing of records in sorted order based on some search key. As we have discussed in previous slide that sequential file organization is used specifically for sorted order data. Search key is any attribute or set of attributes. It is not needed to be a primary key. So it is very important that primary key should not be a search key, or any search key, it is not mandatory that should be a primary key. For example, if your student database is having roll number as a primary key, in that student database I can also use contact number as a search key, caste as a search key. So any attribute rather than primary key I can use as a search key. To permit fast retrieval of records in a search key order, we chain together records by pointers. So here in sequential file organization, we are going to use linked list like structure to organize all these records one by one after another. So the first record will point to the second record will point to the third record, and so on. So this is the linked list structure that we are going to see in next slide. Furthermore, to minimize number of block accesses in sequential file processing, we store records physically in search key order. For example, if roll number is arranged in a sequential manner, and if someone asks me to identify roll number 55 from the record, I can easily identify it because I know that roll numbers are arranged in sequential manner. So it will take very less time to identify roll number 55. But if the same data is organized using random order, we don't know which record is placed where. So if in this case, if someone asks me to find 55 roll number data, it will take more time than previous one. So that's why here given that the sequential file organization minimize the number of block access in a sequential file processing. So processing becomes easier when data is organized in sequential manner. So following figure shows the sequential file of instructor record taken from our university example. In next diagram, we'll see how instructor records are stored using linked list structure and how records are pointing to the next record, how pointers are effectively used to store all these records in a linked list manner. So from this figure we can see that the first record is pointing to the second record pointing to the third record pointing to the fourth record pointing to the fifth one, and so on. Last record is pointing to the null, that means it don't have any further records. What if I want to store any record in between? For example, now suppose that one new record I am having and I have to store that record somewhere in between these records. Let's see how it is done. So this is how we can do this. Now consider that we have a new record and we have to store that at the fifth position here. Now the fourth record will be pointing to the new record and new record will be pointing next address to the fifth one. So this record will be inserted at the fifth position. Even though physically this record is stored somewhere else, but logically this is in a sequence now. So eventually, however, correspondence between search key order and physical order may be totally lost over a period of time. That means, for example, if we have some sequential ordered data in our database and after some time, if we delete some records from the table, it will create some free memory blocks in between the database. So that free blocks which are randomly created due to deletion of some records has to be reorganized. So at this point, the file should be reorganized so that it is once again physically in a sequential order. Just now we have discussed how new record is inserted in between deleted spaces. Such organizations are costly. Why it is said that it is costly? Because rearranging new records in between the pre-blocks which have been created due to some deletion of records is very complicated task. So must be done during times when the system load is low. The frequency with which reorganization are needed depends on the frequency of insertion of new records. That means, now suppose that we have deleted 5 records, and if we have 5 new records at that time, it will be efficient that we have 5 free blocks and we have 5 new blocks. So it is okay. What if we have 10 deleted blocks? That means we having now 10 free memory blocks somewhere randomly in a database, and we have only one new record. Now all the rest of free blocks will remain as it is, and the physical sequence is now totally lost due to deletion of records. So this can happen in a sequential file organization. So here it is all about the sequential file organization, how we can store our records sequentially in a file. Next we'll discuss about multi-table clustering file organization. So consider the department and instructor relation. So what is multi-table clustering? Before that we have to discuss about what is cluster. Cluster, we can say that cluster is a collection of elements having familiar work or having familiar functionalities. For example, we can create cluster of teachers, we can create cluster of students, we can create cluster of technicians, and so on. So cluster means collection of elements which have same functionalities. Now we can have a situation where common data may reside in several tables. So what we have to do? We have to do some natural joins. To collect all this data into a single table, so that we can create a cluster. This structure mixes together tuple of two relations. That means using multi-table clustering, in multi-table clustering we are going to have multiple tuples from multiple relations, two or more relations. We are joining into the single table and we are creating a single cluster, we are creating a single database. So let's understand this example with some diagrams. So here we have two different relations, one is department relation and one more is instructor relation. In department relation we have two departments, one is computer science and second one is physics. And here we have some instructors from these two departments, Srinivasan, Gold, Katz and Brand. So this is our multi-table clustering structure where we have organized our instructors as per their department. For example, Srinivasan, Katz and Brand are belong to computer science department. So we have prepared one cluster here under computer science department, and the only person, that is Gold, who is working under physics. So we have prepared this as a separate cluster. So we have done some natural join operation to perform or to build these clusters. So this is how we can prepare clusters. We can collect data from several databases and can create clusters having same functionality. In next lecture we'll have discussion on data, dictionary storage and database buffer. Till then, goodbye. Please stay at home and be safe. Thank you.